fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds. We are back. I am so stoked to share some news with you. We have found the fishing theme park property. I have a really clear vision of this. We already have a vision. In fact, let me just read the vision to you if you've missed it. This will sum up a lot of questions that some of you might have if this is the first time hearing the podcast or even the first time hearing about this Salt Strong fishing theme park. So let me read our 2025 vision so you know exactly where we are going and just as importantly, why we are going there. And this is printed off. It's on our site, by the way. If you go to saltstrong.com, up at the top, there's a little About tab, and you will see it right there. You can look at it yourself, download it. It's a PDF. We want as many people to have this. It holds us accountable. And as a company, we have this printed off, massive print off, that's framed in our office so that it's a great reminder every day of why we wake up and where we are going. And so I'm going to read it to you real quick. This is the 2025 vision. It says, all of this must be done no later than December 31st, 2025. Number one, we dream of uniting 1 million Salt Strong members who have committed themselves to becoming complete anglers in the following 3 ways. Number one, continuous learning in the pursuit of mastering both saltwater and freshwater fishing. Number two, sharing their best tips, tactics, mistakes, and life lessons with others in the community. Number three, recruiting and teaching the next generation how to fish. We dream of the largest community of helpful and positive anglers in the world, all striving to become more consistent and confident at fishing. We dream of a powerful Salt Strong community that is considered a force and a unified voice so that we can influence leaders and politicians to do the right thing when it comes to the conservation and protection of our fisheries. We dream of a fishing faculty of 1,000 gifted fishermen equipped with the vision, character, knowledge, and expertise to empower our tribe. We dream of the day it can be said the best fishing coaches in the world teach at Salt Strong. We also dream of the day it can be said the best anglers in the world studied, perfected their craft, and helped inspire others to fish because of Salt Strong. And we dream of Salt Strong as a model of fishing education around the world that focuses not only on catching fish, but also inspiring people to do amazing things in their communities. From trash pickups, to getting disabled kids and veterans out fishing, to rallying the troops when it comes to water management issues. And we intend to make available resources, tools, and training to all of our members who want to make a difference. We also dream of a massive 50-plus acre family-focused fishing facility, the fishing theme park, where parents and kids can turn off their phones. They can fish with the best anglers in the world and create unforgettable memories with their loved ones. And we dream of the day when every child in the world has the opportunity to fish. Salt Strong. Many anglers of all shapes, sizes, and skill levels serving one purpose: to get kids, families, and friends outside fishing. Woo! Man, I don't know about you, that gets me pumped up, and it gets our whole team pumped up. This is something that we look at, and we don't make everyone recite it, although we probably should, but this is something the whole team knows this. They all get to see it every week. And it's a great reminder of where we're going. And that last point, or really kind of second to last, but it's the main big bullet point as I'm looking at it, is this family-focused fishing facility, the theme park, if you will. And as I talked about on a prior episode, imagine kind of a blend between Disney World and like the Masters. So the Masters meaning Augusta National. If you haven't been to Augusta, one of the coolest things for me besides just the splendor and getting to see all those professional golfers was the fact they didn't allow cell phones. And that might seem really corny that I say that, but like that was one of my best memories of Augusta National when I went there for the Masters one year. And the reason why is because I had the best conversations with the group that I was with. No one was distracted. No one was sitting there texting and tweeting and doing all the other stuff that we do with our phones. There were real conversations going on. There were real relationships being built. There were memories that I still have with those friends. There were things I learned about some of the people that I never knew. And these are people who are my friends because we were kind of forced to talk to each other, which sounds so bad, but it's so needed in this day and age. And I know it's only going to get worse. So a big focus of our facility, of our fishing theme park, is going to be the fact that we want relationships being made. We want this to be family focused. We want this to be all about creating memories and less about being stuck on your phones. And I mentioned Disney because Disney is kind of set the standard for just an immaculate park. No, we are not going to have roller coasters, and no, we're not going to have places where you have to wait in line for an hour or 2 hours or however long the lines are for that kind of stuff. This will all be around fishing. This will all be about learning how to use fly fishing gear or a bait caster, whatever you might be into, or going out on the water with a pro that maybe you've emulated or someone that you were dying to go fishing with. So it's going to be like taking all of your wildest dreams in terms of getting to fish with celebrities and things like that, and putting it all in one place where you can get everything you need when it comes to fishing, including hotel, restaurant, bars, all that stuff. I can't tell you all of it because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but just know we are getting one step closer. And let me tell you about a meeting I had recently that really kind of changed it all for me and kind of changed my mindset. And one thing I've been guilty of doing here recently is I keep looking at that 50-plus acre family-focused fishing theme park. And I wrote that down. The whole team agreed upon it. And I know it's still going to happen. In fact, I think it's going to be a whole lot bigger than 50 acres. And so in my head, I've kind of been thinking that, hey, this is all going to happen around that year, 2024, 25. We're still many years out. And, and it's going to take that long to really get all the financing, the capital to buy, 50, 100 or 200 acres and actually build all the stuff that we're dreaming up to build on there to serve you guys, the anglers and the families that we want to unite. And, to get disabled kids out fishing and vets, all the stuff that I just listed on that vision. And I had a meeting with the CEO of Fun Spot. If you guys don't know Fun Spot, it's a really amazing amusement park in Kissimmee. They have a couple here in Central Florida and now actually one in Atlanta area as well. And the CEO is a member of C12, which is that Christian leadership, the Christian mastermind group that I'm a part of. And his name's John, and John and I had breakfast. And I was sharing a lot of the same stuff I'm sharing with you. And he was eating it up. He's actually became an insider member, and he loves fishing, and just an overall just amazing guy who's built an amazing company there with Fun Spot. And he said, Joe, he's like, here's my best advice. He's like, you've got something. And he's like, I can see and feel the passion in your voice, and I am 100% certain you're going to make it happen. He's like, I think you're thinking too small and too big at the same time. And he's like, here's what I mean. You're thinking big because you want to have this massive, theme park, which is awesome. But he's like, at the same point, why don't you think small and do it in bites? He's like, you might be able to serve a whole lot more people instead of just having one massive place, right? Like a Disney World. There's only one Disney World in Florida, really the whole East Coast. Why not have a lot of these theme parks? He's like, you guys have members, right, from Texas up to New Jersey. Why not have multiple in every state versus just one real big one? He's like, one, that's going to make it really easy to start off small where you don't have to wait until 2024. He's like, from what I could tell, you guys could probably get financing in 2020 to start your first one, on maybe a 5 or a 10 acre plot and just do it a little bit smaller. And then maybe have one big, kind of like the headquarters, if you will, down the road. But why not start off small one, that'll give you the ability to prove it can work and it can scale. Two, you'll be able to go create these tight-knit communities all over the place and expand in areas you never even dreamed possible. And the more we talked about it, I got so excited about it. And just, it's crazy. There's been, literally I pray on this every single day. So do our team members. And I can't tell you all the details, but so many of the right things have lined up where I now believe we have the exact right property. I'm not going to tell you where. It is in Florida, I will tell you that. And it's kind of central so that it'll be easy access for a lot of people. It is on the water, and it will be stinking amazing. But I don't want to say exactly where it is yet, just because I don't want to do that for many obvious reasons until we actually have it and can actually break ground on it. And I want to give you guys a way, because we need your help to really be a part of that, to truly be a part of it. I am going to ask for a really, really small favor where you can have a really big impact and play a really big role in the actual fishing theme park and be one of the first people to come in and get a private invitation from us. But I wanted to share all that with you first to let you know that we are so much closer to this than I had kind of been putting myself in this box, if you will. And not to say I wasn't trusting God. I was more reading what I had written down and just saying, hey, that's what it has to be. And the second I kind of just said, you know what, God, I'm just going to trust you on this. And I know this is going to be on your time, and maybe you want me to do this sooner. Maybe it's later. I don't know. And the more I have just put the trust in there to say, hey, maybe it's going to be a 4-acre theme park. Maybe it's going to be 10. I don't know what the number is. It will be bigger than 4, by the way, if it's the property that I believe we're being called to buy right now. And it's just been crazy. I'm going to use the word magic, the magic that has come into my life and the people and these opportunities and even the property. It is unexplainable what has happened and what has transpired since that breakfast meeting with the CEO of FunSpot. It has been really wild when I just slightly changed my mindset and put all my faith in God and just said, God, just show me what you want us to do with this, and I will trust you. And it has been really, really, really magical. So I share that with you to tell you we are a whole lot closer than we thought we would be. And here is kind of the help, if you will. Just recently, just a couple of days ago, depending on when you're listening to this, it was March 6th, is my brother Daniel's birthday. If you don't know Daniel, he was born with severe cerebral palsy. He's never walked or talked a day in his life. Growing up, we didn't know how long he would even live. And I think a lot of doctors probably would have bet he wouldn't even made it this long. And he turned 35 here on March the 6th, and healthy as can be, knock on wood. And this kid, I call him a kid because he's my younger brother, but it's wild what he has done and the amount of people he has inspired, including yours truly, and just the amount of strength that he has. I did a video talking about, the fact is, what is disabled? What does a disability really mean? When we're all fighting something, right? A lot of you know about the panic attacks, the anxiety attacks that I went through. I was in a tough spot. A really tough spot where I didn't even want to leave the house. I felt like someone probably does in a wheelchair, where you're just embarrassed and ashamed and fearful, and you just feel overlooked, right? And feel like no one cares about you, and you're confused on why this is happening to you. And yet, here's my brother in a wheelchair, can't walk or talk, doesn't have any of the ability to do the things that I could do in terms of driving a car and going out on a date and getting a job and, right, showering. This stuff that a large chunk of us do, not everyone, because there are people that are suffering from a lot of things out there. But the things that I had, he didn't have, and yet he was waking up pretty doggone happy, right? We both had that same choice every morning, to wake up with anxiety and fear, or to wake up with excitement and love and hope, and he chose the latter. And looking at it from that perspective, who is really disabled, right? It's pretty powerful when you think of that. And so as I wrote this book, The Chair was something I promised him I would do. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about how people really look at others with disabilities. And I realized that, man, all of us really are disabled in some way. We're all broken. We're all fighting something. We all have scars. Some wear it on the outside, like my brother Daniel. Some are wearing their disability wide open for the whole world to see. Some are fighting it and trying to hide it from others. But if you're listening to this, you know that either you're currently fighting something or have fought something or will be fighting something in the future, whether it be health, mental, cancer, or even your own disability. Something is there's going to be something that you're going to have to face and overcome. And so I wrote this book, The Chair, and I'm going to tell you why this plays a role here in a second. Really for my brother Daniel, to make him the hero. I spent a couple years in rereading it. People have even asked me that have already read it, and they're like, Joe, like, wow, this is amazing. Where did you come up with this stuff? And all I can say is God. I mean, it was one of those weird things that I prayed on it every day. And in the mornings, my wife can tell you, I don't know how many text messages to myself and emails. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds where ideas would just pop in my head like they were placed there at 3 a.m. And maybe you guys have had that at some time in your life. Some writers call it a muse or whatever. It was crazy what transpired over that time while I was writing. And when I went back to reread it, I'm like, holy smokes, like, where did all this stuff come from? I mean, I know it was me, but like, I was like, how did I even come up with these ideas? And I truly believe that God gave me this story. And I truly believe that this book is going to make a massive impact in the world, not just for disabled kids, adults, etc. I do think it'll make a massive, massive impact there. And let me just talk about that real quick. So as I was growing up with Daniel, the toughest times really for anyone is, that 7th, 8th, 9th grade, all the way up to 12th grade. It's tough. And that's why some people despise high school and despise going back to their high school reunions. It could be really tough. It could be brutal. It could be devastating. It's one of the prime times when, kids are committing suicide. There's more teasing and belittling and picking on and just cruel things in that junior high and high school time. And I watched it firsthand with my brother. I mean, he got teased to the point that it would break most of us. And yet, he still went to school every day with a smile. I mean, you can only imagine how most of us, we have a pimple that day and like our confidence is a little bit low. Can you imagine going in with a 400-pound electric wheelchair and you can't walk and you can't talk and you can't even communicate and everything is slower? I mean, he stood out like a sore thumb. And I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm trying to help you envision what it was like to go to school as a nervous 8th and 9th grader. And he got teased a lot. And I heard a lot of really just hurtful, nasty names, some right to his face and some behind his back. And it hurt me as a brother. And we always kind of made a pact that we were going to protect him. Fortunately, we never had to get in a true fist fight, but there was a lot of nice education, I will say, going on with some of these people who did use the wrong terms and the wrong names. And I tell you all that because it's such a tough time, and I truly believe that if every 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grader read this book to like how much they love Harry Potter, right? I mean, it's kind of a Harry Potter meets Chronicles of Narnia kind of a book where they're in an underground world and there's, a whole evil force underground that's trying to shut down the power grid in America, and the president of America is involved and the whole country is really involved with this evil force, this good versus evil, and Daniel has to save the world. And it turns out that he's the only person that can save the world for some random reason that you'll find out in the book. And it paints Daniel and really anyone with a disability in just an amazing light. He's obviously the hero, and you kind of realize, as I said earlier, we're all kind of fighting something. We all have to face some type of fear. I was fighting anxiety attacks. I was having to face my fear to become the hero, and I truly believe that if all young people read this, the world would be a better place. There would be less teasing and bullying and less belittling. And so for that piece, I really, really pray that this just gets out there and makes a massive impact. Piece number 2, I have pledged here that all of the profits, as in like 100% of the profits, are going to go into this fishing theme park. I'm not worried about the property. That's kind of the easy part. The part after that is just getting all of the right people and all the right resources, all the right buildings and all that stuff in place. And then, as I mentioned, the ability to scale this to many, many locations. So I'm going to be using the profits from this book to make an impact there. And that is a place that we will have all kinds of different events, including, the disabled fishing events, including veteran fishing events, and including any kind of event that revolves fishing and bringing communities and people together, which is our ultimate mission here at Salt Strong. So where I need your help is to just go buy a copy. It's $14 and something on Amazon, and it's $9 or whatever on Kindle, and it's all Prime, so it gets there super fast, the free shipping. And all I ask is that you do that. If everyone who listens to this, which is thousands of people, did it, I mean, that alone makes a massive impact, knowing that a lot of you will read it and share it, because it's not just one of these stories of like, oh, that was cool, I'm glad I read it. Like, I truly believe you will be blown away by this book. I really believe it will be the best and the most meaningful book that you read in the year 2020. I believe it will be a New York Times bestseller at some point. And I believe it will make a massive, massive impact in the world. And I would not say that publicly unless I truly believed it. This is my 4th book, not my first rodeo. I know when there's a good one, just like a musician knows when they've hit one that's like, this is going to be a #1 hit. Like, this is it. Like, this is something really, really special and monumental. And I really do believe that is it. So that is my call to action for you, is right now, if you haven't already, go to Amazon, buy one for yourself, buy one for your kids, especially if you have those 8 to 12 graders. They will actually enjoy the book. It is completely family friendly. And there's a lot of real life stuff in there as well. And it goes in the depth of some of that bullying. And then obviously, of course, the hero, where he becomes the hero at the end, as you'll read, with a lot of different plot twists. And you will be scratching your head saying, holy smokes, where did Joe come up with this? So that is it, guys. I want to share that with you. I didn't know exactly where I was going to go with this podcast. I just kind of felt called to do it to make sure you guys know it's out there. And that's The Chair. If you go to Amazon.com, just look up The Chair. You'll see it by Joe Simons. Pick up a copy. Pick up copies for friends. Share it with your loved ones. All of the profits are going into this property. And I believe that we can have something here, at least, the property and kind of breaking ground by the year end, which really, really, really excite me. So that is it. Guys, I can't tell you how much this means to me, to Luke, to my brother Daniel, to our entire family, to the entire Salt Strong community, and know that by buying a copy of this book, you are making an impact. And as I mentioned, if you're still listening here, save your receipt. Please save your receipt. We will have a kickoff party. And this will be like an invitation only, like a pre-kickoff party to when it officially opens. And anyone that has a receipt will be inviting you. And, of course, if you're in a different state and you can't make it, we do plan on doing many of these. That has been a very clear vision that I have had here. And I'm just super pumped to get this first one off the ground and have all you guys see it. So please do save your receipt. That'll kind of serve as your invitation that we will be asking for when time comes closer. And then for now, just get a copy, get as many as you can. Spread the word. I know you will absolutely love the story of The Chair. And the great news, too, are there are a couple other surprises coming as well. So thank you so much for all the support. If you have any questions, want to reach out to me, I'd love to hear from you. I do look and answer every email. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I do get every single one. I get back to every one, and that's Joe, Joe, at saltstrong.com. That's Joe at saltstrong.com. I would love to hear from you. Any questions about the theme park, the book? I know I've already had a few people have asked to buy like 50 at a time. So if you have any questions on any of that, hit me up, Joe, Joe, at saltstrong.com. Otherwise, go to Amazon right now, Amazon Prime, and it's on Kindle, The Chair by Joe Simons. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you on the next episode. We out.
goes fishing, a 10 mile